Hi, everyone. This is week 3. Here we go. I just got in from a massive workout. Okay, it wasn't massive, but it was a workout. Here we go. I'm going to show you some things from your submissions from last week, and then we'll talk briefly about what's up this week. And then I will be around checking my email here and there. Here we go. Here are the class notes that you have access to. It's always there for you. That was what we did on Monday. And here are some things that your classmates wrote about stereotyping, which were really interesting. So they had some cool things to say. So I posted them on this document so that other people can read the interesting examples and the way that people were sort of digesting the kind of complicated idea about stereotypes. So that's just for you to read on your own. The study questions were great. Everyone seemingly understood the answers for the most part because they understood the text, how to the danger of a single story. And this is a great opportunity for us to look at something called parenthetical quoting. My hands are like this. It means using a parentheses, parenthetical parentheses at the end of a sentence with the author's last name. No, we're not doing that. Don't do it. I'm telling you now. And there's a couple of reasons. One, you need to learn to integrate the quotations into the sentence in ways that make it very clear what the source is at all times. And you do that typically by interspersing the author's last name and then he or she, and then bits of sentences or memorable language from the text, but they are very much integrated into your words. And it's clear in the sentence where it's coming from. So here's, Miss Hanley. Now, you can call me Miss Hanley. It seems right. I mean, Professor Hanley doesn't seem right. Lady, that seems wrong. So we're going to go with Miss Hanley. All right. Or, Liz, I don't think so. So here we go. Parenthetical quoting. Ms. Hanley instructed us not to use parenthetical citations. Don't put the author's name in parentheses at the end of a sentence, she exclaimed. I'm exclaiming. Hanley. Now, you see how ridiculous? Look, it's right there. The reader is perfectly aware who, that's the big no. Don't do it. So don't do that. Anyway, so here's someone else making another error that we're going to talk about so that you can get straight up. Here we go. We're not going to talk about or say, the author says or talks about. We're going to use the language of writing as much as possible. And we're not going to use the words of the language of talking. Okay. It's very easy to say she talks about. Also, it should be present tense when you're describing, for the most part, it's present tense when you're describing the action of what was conveyed in an article or talk. Okay, so don't use talk, and we'll look at the words that you should use in one sec. The other thing that went on here is this quote is too long. Not only is the dreaded parenthetical thing at the end, well, there's no parentheses, but still the author's name is at the last part of it. And now this person kind of put the author at the end because maybe they don't know how to integrate it into sentences. So that's kind of the work of it for some people to figure out how to do that, because maybe they've been a little bit like, well, I don't know how to do that, but I do know how to put in a sentence and then, put a last name there. Our work is to integrate. So let's look, integrating quotation. There's a document called Basic Quotation, and you have it on Canvas. It's everywhere. So this tells you all the main principles. 1, assume the reader knows nothing. Before quoting, you have to establish the author and the title of the work. Sometimes also the credentials of an author or the institution with which they're affiliated. You might say Harvard neuroscience, Dr. So-and-so, you might throw in the institution. Director of neurobiology at Stanford, so-and-so, sometimes that's correct. And then with TED Talks, we're assuming if people rise to the level of a TED Talk, they've established credibility, more or less. Okay, so there you go. And MLA Basics is another document. So I know there's a lot of links, but they will help you if you have your mind plugged in on how do I do this. It's all here for you. You got to read the instructions. So before the quote, you're going to introduce it with words like this, not the talking words. Explains, argues, suggests, etc. So here are two examples of that. Dweck and Carr are authors that you're going to read pretty soon, or a little bit later in the semester, but they're just, you can see it's the author's last name. We're imagining that the author's, that the text has been established, but we're just now going with the last name of the author. And you can see how you integrate. Remember, quotation is memorable language. Okay, important rules of citation. And then look, again, I'm getting mad. Do not, it's all bold. I bolded it. Okay, so we're going to get off that. So that's the class notes, and you can look at those anytime. Basic quotation is another document. So let's look at, we're going to look at the summary. So this week you have to write a summary, and you have to write it in the way that you're going to need to write it for your essays. In fact, if you work on this summary, it may be something that you actually use in one of your essays. Okay, so sometimes these assignments can double as content for your essays as long as you clean them up and revise them sufficiently. So here I'm going to get a little bit, I'm going to speak in bold. You have to read the directions. Some of the assignments I've given you so far, I have put extra credit embedded in them, but only if you read till the end, or if you read carefully. And only a few of you really saw those. So that tells me, you know, we got to kind of really look at these instructions, especially because we just have this now. And I'm not really obligated to make a video for you, and it may or may not be the best learning thing for you, but mostly you should read these instructions. I put nice pictures on there for you, and I've linked all the guides and with examples to help you kind of step by step go through this. Okay, so what you need to do is go to the summary guide, write down 2 tips that you think are helpful, and then you're going to write the summary. So if you're reading the instructions, this is giving you everything you need, except there's the video has been taken out. So follow these instructions. You will often be asked to practice, and then this is again all of the instructions that I've just verbally kind of brushed over. Read them carefully, and then here's an example. You know, that to me is about all I can do, is describe exactly what the strategies are and then show you an example of it. And then you look away and then try to do it yourself. And then compare it to this and make sure that you haven't used talks about, or that you have successfully integrated quotes into your sentences. And one way to see if you've done that is by reading out loud. Okay, so what we're going to do now, okay, so that's, now I've gone to a student who's already, he said that I could show you this. This is a student who already submitted this assignment. So you can pause this right here and look at his great work here. Now this is Grant, and he really didn't need much instruction here. His paragraph was great, although I just wanted you to see how it looks when I'm working on it. So I go to suggesting. If I edit it for you, then I'm kind of doing your work. I just want to show you things. So sometimes I'll highlight them. And I highlighted this ending here. Adichie defines the phenomenon. You know, here, this is tricky for integrating into the sentence, not quite. It's as the idea of, and then you'd want to put showing, you know, so there's a little tough stuff there in the integration, but I'm going to ignore all that because the quote is just a little too long. So I'm just saying that to Grant because I didn't have much else to say. Not terrible, just super A+ work all the way, but I give the tips where I can. And I just want you to show you that this is what I do, as I write along the way. So this is a great, oh, and here, well, look, here we go. This is and it tells you, this one I edited, but it'll tell you replace uppercase with the lowercase. I mean, these are small things in the case of Grant, who's really following the instructions to the letter. And then here I make a comment. Great work. But sometimes the comment is, I can't see your document, so you sure better check it. Have a great day. I don't say that every time. I'm trying to make you think I'm trying to make it look good. No. So anyway, so sometimes I can show you Grant's work and what it looks like to me, but you see he's got Adichie. And he uses all of the right, quoting language and integrates the quotes. So it's very nice. And it tells me my comment has been submitted, and you are going to be responsible for all of these comments that I make along the way. So just FYI. Okay, so the last thing we're going to look at, we'll go back to the other assignment that you're going to do, which is a discussion. So how will I do that? I'm just going to go to modules and look at week 3. I just want to see something here on the. Okay, so we're on week 3. And here's the next assignment, reprogramming. And you're going to listen to reprogramming your brain to overcome fear. Look, Beanie. I'm afraid of bicycles. I love it. And so here's your postings. So I do have to tell a couple of you that when you respond to a classmate, it does need to be 2 to 3 sentences. So just read the instructions. So because you are going to be held to that. So people will have some interesting things to say about fear. So let's not miss it. You might want to do that assignment first. It's kind of fun. And then buckle down and get to that summary, because it will be a little bit more unnatural to work with. But remember, when you write in a discussion, we're just generating content, thoughts. Later, you can apply these things to the text, but you do want to write loose and then write tight, sort of just get things out there. And nobody gets everything right on the first try. And these discussions are just meant to kind of get the conversation started and to give you all ideas that you can share. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Hopefully that was helpful. And I will be around today. I will check my email here and there. And again, thanks to Grant for letting me drop in on his work so that you can kind of see what that's like for me, and the suggesting and all of that, and how you need to be plugged in to what it is I'm saying. Sometimes I just give you credit and move along. There's a lot of you. So, but other times I am trying to show you, oh, well, here's sentence joining. Sentence joining is a big deal. So if you see that that's a comment in there, make an effort to see if you can figure out some of the mechanics of that so you can use it in all your work everywhere and look really cool. Okay, so take care and hopefully get your work done right on time and follow the instructions. Don't use parenthetical expressions or citations.